Hello number ones and welcome to Metatron's Academy. So there is a video that I wanted to review with you. And in fact, it's not just a video. Let's be honest about this. This is a genre. There are lots of videos on YouTube where the title says something like this one, when people speak English but with X grammar. So you're applying the grammar structure, syntax, and rules, if you will, including the order of words and nouns that the language usually uses into English, and then basically reskin it. This was done 1 year ago. Of course, there are plenty of videos like this, and I'm gonna tell you, if you want me to, I'll make my own. And I can do one for Italian and one for Sicilian. I'm sure there are a few that did Italian already, but has anyone ever done the Sicilian version with English? Let me know in the comments. If I see enough people telling me, do the Sicilian one, I'll do it. I'll make it similar. I'll put the Sicilian flag, maybe I could put the American flag since I'm in America, and it could be great. But anyways, let's check this one out. I'm going to let him speak for a full minute, and then we'll review what he says. And I also want to see if perhaps there are some similarities, since even though we speak different languages, Italian and German, still European though, so let's see.
Good morning. How goes it? To me, it goes good, thank you. And to you? Very good. Have you already breakfasted? Yes, I have a banana eaten. She was very tasty. But have you anywhere my coffee seen? I am to me not sure where I him placed have. Perhaps have I him in my sleep room left? He stands on the table. Ah, so. I little fool. Make you also breakfast? Yes, I cook water in the water cooker, and I have life means in the cool cupboard. I become probably toast bread and liver sausage to eat. So, go you today to the work? Yes, exact. I must soon to go. What make you professionally? I work in an animal park. My task is it, myself around many kinds of animals to look after. Today am I for the shield toads and ant bears responsible. Madness. I come out Australia. Gives it in your animal park big animals? Yes, but the most time hide they themselves gladly.
Most time hide themselves gladly. Oh, this is beautiful. Man, this is a work of art. All right, so this was the first minute uninterrupted, but now I want to start to provide commentary, and then we'll continue. So first and foremost, the first thing that I'm noticing, I do not know any German apart from like counting from 1 to 10 and in a couple of insults. Of course, I don't know, like I can't relate in the sense that, oh yeah, in German they say like this, who the heck knows? But the first thing that I'm noticing is that it's absolutely intelligible. Like I understand, maybe there are a couple of things, cold cupboard, yeah, I wouldn't have, I mean, is that the literal translation of fridge in German? Well, you let me know if you're a German speaker. But yeah, those could be a problem when you're literally translating. In fact, a kind of a different approach, if you will. But when it comes to the order of words, of course no one would speak like this, at least in this century, but it makes it's still understandable. In fact, it makes it sound extremely formal, doesn't it? And sometimes even archaic and a little poetic. Believe it or not, up to this point, yeah, some expressions are also kind of silly sounding, but I still understand it. This is fascinating. Another thing I noticed was, of course, the presence of a gendered language. When you put it into English and you talk about the cup as a he or the banana as a she, it sounds kind of weird in English, but maybe not too bad if you think about the fact that sometimes in English you do call a ship a she, or maybe a sword can be called if it has a name like Excalibur, I guess. So maybe not completely foreign. A bit, but maybe not too much. I have to say, this one, the way he asked the question was very strange to me.
Have you already breakfasted? Yeah.
Have you already breakfasted? Well, though it's not that strange, because so in Italian we would say hai fatto colazione. So we would say, have you made or have you done breakfast? That's how we would say it. So we don't do it the same way as they do. However, we do it with lunch and dinner. Hai pranzato is have you lunched, and hai cenato is have you dinnered. So yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it's very similar in Italian too. Have you breakfasted?
Yes, I have a banana eaten.
I have a banana eaten. So does German put the verb at the end? Because in Italian I would say I have eaten a banana, or mangiato, so I have eaten a banana. It's very similar to English, in fact. In Sicilian, I would put una banana ho mangiato. In Sicilian, in emphatic clause, I would put the verb at the end. So in this case, I can sympathize. Let me know in the comments. All right, let's resume.
Swim very good. Is your job dangerous? That can he be. Man must always very careful to be. One time has one of my colleagues an electricity strike from a tremble eel received. How has that happened? It was his first day in this job and he thought that he in the water to go would need to in order the tremble eels to feed. Good that he himself on this day not around the sharks was looking after. Yes, he had big luck. I would have him really before the dangers to warn to or to. Must you today also to work? No, I must today not to work. I have today a day free, but I work morning and overmorning. Have I to you already told what I professionally make? Yes, a little. I am therein interested more to find out. Like you know, work I as tooth doctor helper. I support the male tooth doctors and female tooth doctors with various treatments and operations. I care for myself around the patients and I make sure that they themselves well feel. Pleases to you your job? Yeah.
Pleases to you your job. Yeah, that's another one. All right, so a few other similarities. So I'm noticing a kind of recurring tendency of the verb at the end, and that's interesting. And also noticing that they swap. So even in German, must you, how did he say it? Must you go to work?
Him really before the danger. Must you today also to work?
Must you today also to work? So it looks like they are swapping, a bit like in English. In Italian we don't. So basically when you ask a question in Italian, it looks exactly the same as a sentence and as a statement and then or affirmative, and then the only difference is the intonation. So it looks like in German instead must is going at the beginning, I suppose, because it's a question. I don't know.
But you already told what I professionally make? Yes.
What I professionally make, and of course this is the only part, because once again up to this point it is intelligible for an Anglophone speaker with zero training in German. You know what they are saying. However, this is perhaps one of the first cases, I would say, in this scenario where there could be a misunderstanding, because if I told you what I professionally make, that sentence makes sense in English, but it would mean that you are literally making something. Like I make doors, I make helmets, I make whatever the heck, I make transistors. But in reality, I understand it as a European language speaker that the way he's using make in this case is pretty much, do you know what job I do? I think that's do you know what I do? So in English, there is a strong distinction between do and make. Make really giving the idea of construction, you're building something, and then do as instead you are executing usually something. For instance, you could say do homework, do your homework, you don't make it, you're not creating it, you're doing it, right? But in Italian as well, we say fare for everything. We have one word for both. And I imagine perhaps there is a similar situation in German. If you're enjoying this video so far, please take a moment to check out my Patreon page. With as little as a $5 support, you can help us ensure that we can continue to produce high quality and high researched content. And at the same time, you get access to polls, extra videos, unlisted streams, and much more. Thank you so much.
Yes, I like my job. It is nice people to help to be able to, but sometimes have we also very nervous patients. Yesterday is a female patient in the clinic come that such fear before tooth doctors had that she during the examination to scream begun has, then upstood and out the building run is. Wow, what for a crazy situation. Yes, absolute. Health. Thank you, nice. I have light head pains and my nose runs.
Thank you, nice. I'm going to start using that. Oh, I'm going to say, yeah, thank you, nice. I actually like that. So I kind of stopped him a little earlier because there were a few things happening here. So I'm noticing that health, when you tell someone, so someone sneezes and you tell them health, we do the same in Italy. Exactly the same. Salute. Salute means health. So you're wishing them for health. Now, given, I think for the proper rules of etiquette, I don't think you're supposed to actually say it. But people do, like a lot of people do in Italy. Salute, the moment you sneeze. So it seems like we have the same, so I do understand where he's coming from. The other thing that I'm noticing, and I forgot to mention, but it came back again, is the way they seem to use the verb to have. Yeah, in Italy as well, a lot of the times we use the verb to have in situations where in English you don't really do it. There were a few instances here, both as an auxiliary verb, so you're using it in scenarios where instead English would use different verbs as auxiliary, so complementary to the main verb that is carrying the action. And then other times simply as have, like for instance, I have fear. I think in English you can understand it totally, but normally would say I'm scared, I'm afraid, I have fear of ghosts, but no one would say it like that. You do understand it, but you wouldn't say it. Likewise, you wouldn't say I have hunger. you would say, I'm hungry. So you're using as an auxiliary verb, the verb to be, to convey your state. But it seems like German uses the verb to have in a few of these scenarios, and so do we in Italy. And in fact, we do it with age as well. It's not I am 20 years old, it's I have 20 years, if I were to say it exactly as it's structured in Italian. Yeah, I really want to make my own. I got inspired by this.
I hope that I myself not cold it have. Maybe should you to the doctor to go, you must yourself around your health to look after. Yes, I have already an appointment at 9 o'clock booked. It is already 9:30. I become at 8:35 to go. So, be not too late. I will try punctually to go. Know you whether man still a mask to wear must? That is to me sausage. Bye. Bye.
Sausage. Does that mean crazy? I don't know, but that's what it sounds like. Man, this was fascinating. I actually loved it. A little short video, of course, 3 minutes. It really inspired me from making my own. I think the Italian one could be fun, but the best one is going to be Sicilian, because we have some crazy expression already when we use them in Sicilian. And when you translate them into Italian, they already start to sound off. Imagine if you do it with English. It's going to be great, and I should totally film it together with my wife, an authentic American. That would be phenomenal. We could even do some tests and see if she can even understand me. Yeah, I love this. So congratulations to the creator of this video, OVERLEARNER. Thank you very much for sharing it. And yeah, I will see you guys for the next one. Thank you very much for joining Metatron's Academy. Bye.